Hi, I'm Nick.
And I'm Mel. I grew up playing outside.
And I grew up doing something meaningful, watching movies and TV.
I never had cable, and we finally bought a VCR about the same time DVD players hit the market.
Throughout our marriage, Mel has sadly missed many of my pop culture references and movie quotes.
So it's time to catch up on all the films I missed.
Good evening.
Hello.
And how are you?
I'm great. I'm ready for a film.
You usually are, and again, I love that about you. Are you feeling a little downtrodden today or put upon by just in general?
Well, I'm a parent, so sometimes I feel that way. No, I'm not feeling that way today. No.
Did you really engage in something that really gets you excited, that you kind of get overly excited about a particular thing that other people may not be into?
Yeah, I went to the farmer's market.
Oh.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, you did.
I get really excited about the farmer's market.
Okay. Well then, do you know what we're watching tonight?
Oh, you're not just making conversation?
Oh, well, a bit of both.
I don't know. You just asked me two questions that are kind of conflicting.
Yeah, they are.
The first one kind of sounded like Eeyore. Are we watching Winnie the Pooh?
No.
Okay.
Nor Christopher Robin, the movie with Ewan McGregor where he's the grown-up Christopher Robin.
I haven't seen that. Hint.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what we're watching. What is it?
It's a film that deals with two of the most common things in the human experience. One, the idea of being put down upon and seeking revenge.
Oh, revenge.
And the other is, especially around our generation and maybe a little earlier, people who get super focused on things that the general population may think are odd or strange, and they call them a
nerd. Geek.
Revenge of the Nerds.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh!
Have you ever seen this?
No, I don't think I have.
Do you know anything about it?
No.
Why are you so excited then?
I don't know. Okay, I'm excited for two reasons.
Okay, tell me.
One, I think Rick Moranis is in this.
Okay. Rick, I do love me some Rick Moranis.
I do too. Okay. He's nerdy too.
He is, yeah.
Revenge of the Nerds.
Yeah.
I'm seeking my brain right now. I'm like Gandalf, thinking really hard and going through all of my years of history.
You are stroking your long white beard right now as you do it, I can tell.
Okay, I'm also excited about this because it's really far-reaching.
All right.
Well, I've always loved the title.
Yes, what's not to love?
It's gotta be good.
You would think.
Perhaps I was a nerd who wanted some revenge in my lifetime.
Maybe.
So I'd love to see a movie about that.
Okay.
But also, is it connected at all to Toe Jam and Earl? Which is a game, a Sega game.
Yes.
We love that game. We play it at home with the kids. And they're one of the bad guys, or the enemies in the game.
The Earthlings are the enemies, yes.
Yeah, there's a group of nerds.
It's a nerd herd.
Yeah, it's a nerd herd, and it comes and stomps over you.
Yes, they flatten you. Yes, yes.
Is it related to the movie at all?
Absolutely not.
Oh, well.
I mean, maybe they made those characters because of the movie, but no.
The nerds.
I'm giving away a spoiler, because that's a spoiler, obviously. It is not related to Sega Genesis's seminal classic, Toe Jam and Earl.
Okay.
Nothing else? You think Rick Moranis is in it?
That's and I'm just excited. That's all I know.
Oh, okay. All right. How are you? Wow. Okay. How are you feeling then?
I'm ready. Let's watch this movie. I have a tagline.
I was gonna say you got to give me your tagline. That's what you got to pay.
It's under construction, but it's something like revenge is a dish best served on a plate that is 8.5 inch diameter.
Very specific.
Very specific. Or revenge is a dish best served in all shades of white. I don't know.
Why
something extreme. There was the eating white food movement.
Oh, what are you talking about? The white food movement? Where did that come from? I do oddly remember that, though.
There was a time when people would have parties where they dressed in white and they only ate.
What kind of parties did you go to? What is happening right now?
I can't talk anymore.
That sounds like a really nerdy party. Wow. Okay.
Okay.
Revenge is I thought you were going to say revenge is a dish best served nerd.
Or maybe at like 32.1 degrees Celsius.
Yes,
Fahrenheit.
a very specific,
Yes,
like
yeah.
boiling point or
Cold.
You're right, cold. Yeah, that makes much more sense. Wow. Well, let's go see if we can find some
cannot wait. Let's
white
go.
food and go check it out.
Okay, perfect.
Let's go. Wow.
Star Wars, Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, The Sound of Music. In the tradition of these great films about fighting back against the odds, 20th Century Fox presents another milestone in motion picture history. Revenge of the Nerds.
Nerds! Nerds?
Nerds. Nerds!
What is a nerd?
They've been laughed at, picked on,
There's a roommate, pal!
and put down.
I'm not kissing a nerd.
They don't have the moves or the muscle,
You know karate? No. Good.
but they've got the brains.
I know what we're gonna do.
It's time for the odd to get even.
Their action tonight demands an immediate retaliation. How many cameras do we have left?
This should do it.
Nerds!
Are all nerds as good as you?
Revenge of the Nerds. Their time has come.
I drink to that.
Oh, wait, is that my Eddie Murphy laugh? Or is that my nerd laugh?
Or maybe it's both.
Revelation of revelations? I'm literally holding my chest in shock right now. I feel like I'm being rocked down to my very foundations. Am I a nerd? Or am I a comedian? I don't know. Sorry.
I know what you are.
You know what I am?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're
well,
a nerd.
I'm a nerd. I'm a total nerd. That's true. Wow.
This is totally off topic, but I'm just going to do it real quick.
Okay.
My dad did an Eddie Murphy laugh the last time.
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not kidding.
Your dad?
My dad, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How did it go?
It was a lot like what you just did.
What was the context in which he would even do an Eddie Murphy laugh?
I told him about the podcast
Yeah.
and that we watched an Eddie Murphy. I was telling him that Eddie Murphy was like my new fave
Okay.
from
okay.
the podcast.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And then he did that laugh and I was like, what is happening right now?
I cannot believe your father, knew who Eddie Murphy was.
Why are we talking about Eddie Murphy? We should talk about Revenge of the Nerds.
I didn't. You're right. We should. Eddie Murphy famously plays nerds as well. But anyway, let's get into this one. This Revenge of Nerds. We just watched it. What's going on? What's in your brain?
Where was Rick Moranis? Where? He wasn't in this.
He was not in it, no. I did think it was super cute that his nerdiness transcends all film. And so in your mind, he had to be in a movie from the 80s called Revenge of the Nerds. I just think that was delightful.
Oh, yeah.
There was an iconic 80s actor in this film that I have been waiting to tell you, or did you figure it out?
Okay, are you talking about Anthony Edwards?
Yes!
Yes!
You did not let on that you knew who he was at all.
I didn't. No, I didn't know until I was like researching for this today, and I found out. And in my notes, I have like 5 exclamation points that it was Anthony Edwards who played Gilbert, right?
Yes, Gilbert, and in his other famous role?
Goose in Top Gun.
The G's, yes,
and
the
then
2 G's.
Dr. Green.
Yeah, the 3 G's. Does he only do characters with G? We got to look into this.
I really liked him.
He was so sweet in the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And oh my gosh, like I didn't recognize him.
Yeah. Well, he is. You're used to Dr. Green.
Yeah.
And then where he had very little hair. And then you saw Top Gun where he had lip hair and hair.
Lip hair.
And
yes.
and now you're
threw
seeing
me off.
I know. Then you see young him with no lip hair and hair.
Mhm.
So yeah, I can see why you didn't get it. But I've been waiting to see that revelation. So thank you for sharing that with me.
Oh yeah, that was crazy.
Do you want to give us a quick summary of this one?
Ooh, okay. So 2 really nerdy kids are going off to college. First year, they're freshmen.
They're men.
They're men. Okay, sure.
Kinda.
And there's a fraternity on campus, the Alpha Beta, and they're just like crazy
Stereo-
partying,
yeah.
like jock fraternity. It's like everything you think of when you think of a fraternity.
Very stereotypical.
Yeah.
Yes.
And in
So
a fraternity in a movie.
Yes, lots of studying, lots of respectfulness, except the opposite of that.
And they burn their frat house down.
Yes, they do.
burn it down. And
Yeah.
so their coach, who was played by John Goodman.
I know.
I love
So
him.
young.
So their coach is like, all right, well, my boys need a place to live. And so the dean kicks all the boys out of the freshman dorm.
Yes.
And puts them in the basketball gym.
Yes. They literally throw them out of the windows in the dorm. Like literally. They're throwing them through glass panes.
So over the top.
It's very over the top.
So this begins a series of escalating tension between the boys, the men, the nerds that were thrown out of their dorm.
It's okay to call them nerds.
And the alpha betas, that the jock fraternity.
Yeah.
So what they do is they decide to become their own fraternity. They get their own house.
The lambdas.
Yes, they're supported by this like all black fraternity.
Yes.
That like gives them the in that they need.
Yeah.
I don't know how the Greek stuff
Loophole
works.
stuff. Yeah. You have to have a national one sponsor you in order to open a franchise or branch, whatever. House.
Sponsor is the word I was looking for.
Sponsor is the word. You do it. Yep.
So then the escalating like pranks and stuff between the two just keep going. And then it all comes down to there's like this, they want to get control of the Greek council.
Yes.
The nerds do.
Yes.
To kind of put them in their place. And they're like, let's beat them at their own game. So they do the fraternity stuff. And then there's like these like homecoming games or something.
Yeah,
where
it's
they compete.
fraternity homecoming Olympic Games. They do.
Which I don't remember that at all.
I don't remember that being a thing, but I wasn't really into that scene in college.
No Greek scene for us, but that's okay.
I think I drove down the fraternity row like once or something, but that was about it.
So then they win.
They sure do.
They like blow away the competition, and then they end up winning and taking the day, and that's the movie. There's a lot that happens. That was a summary.
Yes.
That was not every detail.
Sorry. Yeah, I was thinking about they win and take the day. They win and then they still end up losing because it's like they're completely invalidated. And then they end up really winning by just like being vulnerable, basically, and like asking everyone else to reach out their vulnerabilities. But anyway, that's a good. Yeah.
That's my favorite part of the movie. We'll get to that. You haven't asked me yet.
Yeah, I haven't asked you yet. So
we'll get there.
That was a great part of the movie. So what do you think of this one? There's a lot of iconic scenes in this one. There's a lot of zany things. There's some characters and actors that you didn't even expect. James Cromwell, who you were like, who's that? And I was like, it's Zephyrin Cochran. And you're like, who's that? And I was like, you're not a nerd.
Yeah. So who is that?
Oh, are you kidding me?
James
right
Cromwell.
Now?
He played the
James
dad.
Cromwell. Yeah. He, the secondary thing he's known for, in my mind, is Babe, the pig movie. He's the farmer in Babe, the pig movie. Pretty sure we've watched that one with our kids. You've seen it. You may have slept during it, but
okay.
But he also, in my heart, which I'm pointing to right now, he will always be Zephyrin Cochran, the inventor of the warp drive in the Star Trek universe. In when the Next Generation, I'm nerding out because it's a nerd cast right now.
Do it.
In the Next Generation film, once the Star Trek The Next Generation, TNG, for those in the know, went from being a TV show, an excellent, awesome TV show, to transition over to movies. They did First Contact. That was their second one. There's Generations, which was with Shatner, and they did a whole thing. And then the next one was First Contact. So in First Contact, they go back in time because the Borg went back in time and they got to stop them.
Okay.
And he is an Earthling, Zephyrin Cochran, who invents the warp drive. And that's important because that's when the Vulcans notice Earth. And it starts off the whole thing about creating the United Federation.
So, okay, I'm kind of tracking.
Yeah.
Sort of. Was that a Will Shatner movie?
No.
That was a
Jean-Luc Picard
movie.
Yes.
Okay, and so that wasn't the whale one.
No, that was 4.
Which is like the only one I've seen.
No,
of the
you've
Star
seen-
Trek movies.
That's the only Star. I swear I've shown you more.
I don't think I have. You look
I'm
panicked.
compressing my head.
You are panicking.
Okay. You've never. How? I have failed you.
Yes.
I have failed
Yes, you have.
Okay. Well, that just gives me about 6 more movies for the list. Okay. Keep going.
Okay. So so I want to see this.
Yes.
I would love to see him as the inventor of the warp
Yes,
drive because that's
yes.
important.
But he's the dad in Revenge of the Nerds.
Yes. I read a funny story about him because you did his laugh at
Yes,
the beginning. Would you
yes.
want to do it again? When he got the script, the laugh was described as a goose honk. And he really wasn't sure, how
Yeah.
to put that into practice, but he came up with it like on the first day of shooting. And then the Lewis, the Robert Carradine actor, he copied it.
Yep.
So they were both doing it.
Yep.
And then he realized while driving home that day that it was his wife's laugh.
This is his ex-wife's laugh.
His ex-wife?
His ex-wife's laugh.
Ooh.
Yes. Yes.
Yikes. Okay.
I know. Isn't that great?
Yeah. Now I'm like totally aware of how I'm laughing. On
Oh,
the
I'm gonna,
podcast
if
right
I'm
now.
ever in a movie and have to, I'm gonna do it. Yeah. That'll be for you, an homage.
From now on, all my laughs are going to be like choreographed.
Okay.
Nothing is going to be natural
Are
from
you-
here on out.
Got it. Can you show me one right now?
I don't know.
Fabulous. That was wonderful. Oh, wow. Okay.
I didn't recognize. So Robert Carradine.
Yeah.
He's a Carradine. Okay.
Isn't that wild?
means something, right?
Isn't that wild?
Are there other Carradines?
Do you know who the Carradines are?
Is one of them in Kill Bill?
Yes.
He's Bill, right?
Yes.
Okay.
There's David Carradine. That's David Carradine.
That's all I know about the
And
Carradines.
then there's what's the other Carradine? His brother who I've seen in so many 80s and 90s movies, but I just can't. He was also in Dexter. I'm just blanking. Sorry, David
That's okay.
Carradine's brother. I didn't know he was one of those Carradines though.
There you go.
He is?
He is.
Wow.
Yeah. And I didn't
That's
like.
wild.
I looked up him and he's done a ton of stuff, but like nothing I've seen. Like nothing.
Of course.
Except
Yeah.
a little movie called Escape from LA.
Who was he in Escape from LA? Because
He's just a
I definitely showed you that one.
Yeah, you have. And
Yeah.
he's a skinhead. I don't even know if he has credit.
Just a random. It's Keith Carradine, by the way, is the other brother.
Oh, there you go. Good job.
Wow. He is just a random skinhead. Okay, now I want to watch Escape from LA again.
I know, me too.
Just spot him.
Yeah, totally. I was thinking
Wow.
that. Let's do it.
I can actually see the resemblance now. Interesting. Wow. Crazy. That's wild. So, what were some of your favorite parts of this movie?
Okay. So actually the beginning where it's the very beginning. What's his name? Anthony Edwards. Gilbert. He's like in his bed and he's nervous about going to school. And so he has this blanket like all the way up to his neck and his mom comes in.
Yeah.
And it's a little confusing because his friend comes in too
Yes.
and kisses his mom.
Right
and
on
they're
the mouth.
really friendly.
Right on the mouth.
Okay. I guess it was the 80s. That was weird.
I guess. Yeah, nerds are respectful, I guess. Really respectful.
And loving.
And loving, yes.
So anyway,
It's true.
he like they're talking to him and he's like talking about being nervous and then all of a sudden his friend like whips the cover off and he's
Yeah.
like fully dressed underneath
Yes.
it and they're like, oh, you are ready, and
And
it's goofy.
he has that like look like the cat that swallowed a mouse. He's like,
I know, like I just played the best prank
Yeah.
on you. I'm so
And then
awesome.
Lewis starts honking. Mhm.
And then when they ride to school, their dad is driving
Yeah.
them in the station wagon,
Yeah.
and they're all three of them are in the front seat together, shoulder to shoulder.
Yes, going 35 miles an hour,
Oh, it's
which
great.
the speed limit back then, by the way, was 55 miles an hour.
Mm-hmm.
So it was still extremely slow, even for the time.
I also
In that
Oh,
scene, though, like
yeah.
one of my favorite things, and this is just so period for the time, like they were calculating how long it would take. They were like taking the gas mileage and doing the math to figure out the duration of their trip. Like that used to be, that's a nerdy way to do it, but people had to do that
yeah,
and have maps.
yeah.
None of this GPS, your phone type dealio. So seeing them nerd out about like figuring that out was really, really cute to see too. And a total time capsule factor. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Okay, your turn. Favorite parts.
Honestly, about a scene from Revenge of the Nerds 2 popped in my head.
Yeah, I found out in my research that there's a 2 and a 3.
There's a 3?
Yes,
I didn't know that. I didn't not know that. I knew there was a 2, and oh my goodness. Favorite parts of the movie for me, I liked the pranks. I think we talked about this while the movie was going on. I think I probably saw TBS versions. So this has been enlightening for me in some aspects because it's an R movie. And I did not see the R movies when I was younger. I would see the ones that were on TBS. So some of it I was like, okay, did not know that was there. And then other parts, are the same. So I liked just the escalating like pranks that they played. I thought that it was so cool when the lambdas like showed up and like supported them. And it was just so awkward when they came to the party, the nerd party. They were just so dry.
Oh my gosh.
And then it got like loosened up, and seeing that relationship evolve and seeing the nerds kind of like take ownership and get into stuff, and just seeing them constantly one-upping the jocks was really cool. Like they used all this technology. Their big scene at the end where they do a performance. It's like they did these little breadcrumbs of the nerdy things that all the nerds like to do.
Right, yeah.
And then it all culminated at the end with all the different talents that they had, which sounds super cheesy and hokey, and it was, but it was still awesome. So, yeah. I'm a sucker for gags as well, like physical comedy. So just the whole beginning, the first 15 minutes of the movie are so good.
Yeah.
Like the bit you talked about. And then they have this giant wooden chest that's strapped on top of the car. And then inside of it, they have a 1980s robot that they assemble. It's just like, and they have the pocket protectors, of course. Just, they really like punched into that nerdiness thing too.
Yeah.
Not coincidentally today, at work, someone shared the Windows 1995 launch video.
Whoa.
Which if you've never seen the Windows 95 like launch announcement, YouTube it.
Okay.
It is amazing. It's Bill Gates when he was like probably in his 40s. And then there's all these other guys. They're in polos and they have their shirts tucked in and they're on a big stage. And there's a Rolling Stones, You Start Me Up, or you
Yeah.
Start Me Up, that song. And they're dancing. They're literally, I'm doing my like traditional, arm thrusting white man dancing move.
I've
like
seen that move at every wedding.
Every wedding of my childhood, I saw that. So they're doing that. It is hilarious. And it very much fits in line with this movie. So it was great.
The screenwriters, when they started writing this movie, they didn't even know how to spell the word nerd. They were spelling it N-U-R-D. It wasn't like in our lexicon. Like now I think nerd and geek, and maybe this is because I am said person, but it's become like cool. Like now people kind of want to be like that because it resembles like you've got the smarts and you maybe earn the money and whatever. But for me, my definition of nerd is someone who's like passionate about what they're into. And there's kind of an online debate about this movie, whether these were actually nerds or not. Like, are they smart enough to be in the nerd category? Or because like there's that one character, and during the movie,
Booger?
I was like, no, not Booger.
I mean, Booger, come on.
Right.
He was just an outcast, really.
Exactly.
He was an outcast, yeah.
But there's that like violin playing
yes.
kid. And
he was clueless, yeah.
Yeah, like so there's debate in the internet about whether these are real nerds or not. But I think they're passionate about their stuff, and like that to me is I love that.
I think the idea of a nerd, like it goes so deep that the stereotype is pocket protector, glasses, tucked in clothes, doesn't do things that are quote unquote cool, and then they're really smart. That's the stereotype.
Maybe not athletic.
Yeah, not athletic. That's the stereotype, or at least it was. It definitely was in this movie when they were, doing the extremes. But like, and the character you'd mentioned, I don't even remember his name, the violin player, Poindexter. He wasn't like, he just looked like what you expect. So he was like the surface layer.
Yeah.
But they had lots of different, I think when we were watching, I even joked, it's like the island of misfit toys. It's like all the people that society didn't want. Yeah. And you see them all. There's, there's the young gay black man. There's the guy who's socially awkward and can't talk to people. There's the guy who picks his nose chronically and he's a stoner. And then there's like the little kid genius. There's the Japanese exchange student.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then they all just kind of like come together and support each other. Yeah.
Apparently this was like a party kind of set. Like there's a lot of partying on set. And the kid that played the young one, they were really protective of him and didn't like let him see the partying. So like he would be at like a party and then someone would go up to his mom who would be there. But of course he'd be chaperoned with his mom. Yeah. And they'd be like, hey, you're going to want to leave in like a half an hour.
Because he was like 12,
because it's going to, the party's going to go
crazy
in a different direction.
Yes.
And so she'd be like, okay. And like, so he didn't really know. And he actually didn't know. There's a lot of this movie that's rated R.
Yes.
He didn't see that as a kid.
Yeah,
like,
sure.
He didn't know what they were filming and stuff until later.
Oh, I mean, traditional filmmaking, a lot of times, like movies like The Exorcist, Linda Blair was a child when that movie was made. And so the way that they do certain films, like in the way they compartmentalize it a lot for child actors, usually.
That just made me really nervous because
what?
Halloween season is coming.
Have you not seen The Exorcist?
I'm not going to comment on any scary movies at all. Okay, moving on. Okay, so what I liked.
Did you just say movie on? As in, like, was that a Freudian slip for The Exorcist? Movie on, like game on, you know?
No,
that's not.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. I thought
moving
you were
on.
You were giving me a wink signal.
I'm
wink,
not winking.
Wink. You're not winking?
No.
Okay. Are you fake laughing?
No.
Okay. All right.
We are not talking about scary movies.
You're giving me a stare right now, though.
Because I'm worried.
It's either you should never show this to me, or I want you to think you should never show this to me, so you should show this to me.
The first thing.
Okay.
You should never show that to me.
All right, we'll see.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, we'll see. All right, keep going.
Okay, so yeah, there's a couple things in this movie that really don't age well.
Oh, yeah. No.
Yeah.
Like a lot of movies, but this one in particular, watching it today, you're like, wow, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And they kind of, so like, there's definitely, so the things that don't age well, on their 25th anniversary, GQ did like a Q&A with the cast and the screenwriters of this movie.
Oh boy.
Yeah. And they kind of talked about it. And one of the screenwriters, he says that he regretted it.
Yeah.
I'm reading from the GQ.
Sure.
And he's, I'll paraphrase. So he wrote a play for the musical. And he took out some of the things that were like by today's standards should not be in the movie.
Right.
And so instead of that one guy like pretending to be the boyfriend.
Oh yeah, like the bait and swap, and
thing,
he like gets the girl. Yeah.
Right. Instead, he made it so that Betty was thrown off the cheerleader squad because she flunked trigonometry, and then he teaches her trigonometry. And then love blossoms. Yeah, it goes from there.
Instead of him just pretending to be the boyfriend in order to, Yeah.
And he also said in this article, I also regret the video scene. It would be goofy enough if they just did a panty raid and played it really nerdy.
Yeah. Even the panty raid doesn't age well at all either.
It really doesn't either.
I can't believe that was ever a term or a thing that happened.
I know.
Unless you're going to like Old Navy on a sale. And it's just, there's a lot of panties for sale, but then anyway, wow. Not that, anyway.
So I was not a fan of those parts.
Yeah.
The videos, that whole thing that they did with the video surveillance.
Well, if they had used the video surveillance for other means, the technology they used at that time to do that stuff, totally in line with the nerdiness. Like, it was crazy, like the way that they hooked it up and so... But what they used the power for, no.
Right. It could have been played a little differently.
It could have been, they could have done something with the jocks too and then embarrassed them or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a good, I like that.
Yeah, right?
If you did a reboot.
Yeah, oh man, okay.
Who would you cast?
Who would I cast?
Yeah, as like the nerds.
Timothy Chalamet, no question. Oh, it's the coach? Sorry, I thought you were talking about one of the nerds.
I was listening.
Timothy Chalamet is Gilbert. No question at all. Timothy Chalamet.
Yes. And not the cow.
No, not the what? No, I did name a cow that we met Timothy Chalamet.
Yeah,
that's
not
true.
the cow.
He was a baby calf. He was beautiful.
I know.
He was beautiful.
I miss him.
I miss him too. His eyelashes were just
luscious. At the creamery.
Yeah. For Lewis, though, Timothée Chalamet, who'd be good with Lewis?
I feel like I personally don't know a lot of young
Tom Holland
actors.
would be really good.
Oh, that's perfect.
He would be great.
That's it. That's perfect.
That's it right there.
Wow.
Recast. Done.
Okay. Wow. I was thinking for the dean.
Yeah.
Daniel Radcliffe.
You think Daniel Radcliffe is old enough to play the dean now?
No, I don't. Now that you say it like that, I don't. No, okay, sorry, taking that back, Mr. Radcliffe.
Although the dean may have been like 35 in the 80s, but everyone at 35 looked like they were like 45 or 50 or something.
Yeah, retirement age for sure.
Yeah, I mean, Daniel Radcliffe's in his late 30s, I think, so. Anyway, he could, though, maybe.
He could. Okay.
It'd be a good nod to the Harry Potter thing, too, because of the school teaching.
I know. Chevy Chase, maybe?
Chevy Chase.
As the dean.
If you can get him out of seclusion or wherever he goes, yeah.
Wherever he goes.
He goes somewhere. That'd be a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although the dean is a very wallflower character. Chevy Chase isn't a wallflower actor. I think we got to get Daniel Day-Lewis out of retirement to play the dean.
I said that like I know who Daniel Day-Lewis is.
Daniel
I really
Day-Lewis.
don't know who that is.
He's one of the greatest actors of all time.
Really?
He played Abraham Lincoln in Lincoln. You saw that movie. Yes, you did.
Okay.
I made you watch it because it's amazing.
Okay.
Steven Spielberg's Lincoln.
Yeah. Okay, I'm with you.
Okay?
I'm with you.
He was also in Gangs of New York, which you haven't seen.
Haven't seen.
He's amazing in that.
Okay.
My Left Foot, he won an Oscar for, I think, that one.
Haven't seen that either.
No? Okay.
Mm-mm.
He's amazing. He's super intense in There Will Be Blood. He gets into all of his roles and he like pretends to be that person.
Oh.
Like he's that intense. So I want him to be in Revenge of the Nerds reboot because it would be hilarious to have him not break character as whatever character he has to be.
I feel like the dean has to be someone who is nerdy.
Mm-hmm. He can be anybody though, so that's the beauty of it.
Okay. Well.
Rick Moranis is the obvious choice here though.
Oh my gosh, you're right!
Come on!
Yes! Okay, I want him to come out of wherever he's hiding.
He's kind of out of retirement now.
Okay.
He's starting to do stuff again, like get assaulted in New York. Not a joke. Someone just randomly punched him when he was walking around.
That's wrong.
I don't know. It's crazy. Anyway, Rick Moranis, okay.
And what about the dean? Who could play the dean in the reboot?
That is Rick Moranis.
I mean, the
John
coach.
Goodman. Just bring him back.
Yes.
Just bring him back.
That's what I really
Same
want.
Coach.
That's actually what I really want. I
That's
just
the
want him
thread
to do it
you're going to
again.
see, too. They're going to be the children of the original nerds, Timothée Chalamet and Tom Holland. And then they go to the same school, the Adams, and John Goodman is still the coach.
Boom.
And you could even have Ogre there, who is flunked straight for, I don't know, 40 years, 30 years, and he's still there on the football team.
Yes.
Why am I not writing this down?
We're recording it.
We're
so
recording
there
it.
we go.
That's true. This is good stuff. Wow. So you got any other zingers for me? Because that took me out of left field. That was a sports term, by the way.
Oh, yay.
Took me out of left
Bring
field.
on the
It's not
sports
how you
terms.
use it either.
Okay. We have to end it on the best part of the movie, which is the end.
I don't want to end it yet. What do you
Oh.
think the meaning?
Oh, you don't. Okay.
Do you
don't
think
have to
this
end it
film
yet.
holds up well? No, that wasn't the question. Sorry, my brain is scrambling because I'm like, she can't end it yet. I got to ask my favorite question.
Okay.
Which is, what, if any, messages do you think were in this film?
Well, that ties in greatly for me with the ending
There you go.
that I wanted to talk about.
Please.
The message of this film
Mhm.
is don't let people tell you like that you can't do something. Don't let people put you down.
Yeah.
If you are a nerd or whatever, you embrace it and you go for it. That's it.
I think that just goes, and that goes back to the end scene too,
I love the end
where
scene.
he's like, in the scene, Anthony Edwards Gilbert was just thrown in the water by the jocks. And then he comes out in the pep rally for the homecoming game. He's soaking wet and he wants to talk and he tries to get the mic and they're pushing him down. Then the lambdas show up.
with their own theme music.
Their
I love
own
that
theme
part.
music, and they sit there looking all tough and they're like, say what you got to say.
Mhm.
And so he does it. And then he basically just like, hey, everybody has in their life, in their experience, has felt put down upon or, just subverted, picked on, etc. Like stand up kind of if you felt that way. And then everybody's like, yeah. And then there's a Queen song playing at the end, which
We Are the Champions.
I'm such a sucker. That's probably because of Mighty Ducks. Whenever there's a fire and like more than two people, Queen is there. It just appears. So yeah.
So I stood up when we were watching the movie.
You literally did.
And I
That's
literally
true.
stood up. Like if
It's
we'd
true.
been in the theater, I would have stood up. It was like a
So-
really great moment.
So nerdy.
I
It's so fitting
know.
for it. It was beautiful.
But I loved how, like, as a group,
Mhm.
like, even though they didn't handle some things really well, they did, like, handle, like, kind of taking care of each other.
Oh,
and
totally.
like not they were all like really supportive of each other.
Mhm.
So I really liked that as well.
That was a very, like, you see
That was the best part.
You see that theme a lot, like in 80s films, just outcasts, being Breakfast Club, being picked on and marginalized, you know, like that was like really in the culture of like you're a rock star or you're not star, you know. So it was yeah, it's cool to see the pushback though culturally when that occurs in movies, and it resonates with people for the very reasons of the speech that he gave. Like, that's the human experience. There's going to be people who are different, and people are going to look down on you for whatever reason or not understand you. And yeah, just stay true to your nerdiness. You can be a jock and be a nerd, literally.
That's what I was saying. Like, you're just,
Mhm.
you know,
You're
really
just
passionate about something you're into.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I got to go pick my nose. So
Oh my gosh.
is now a good time to...
That's definitely a wrap.
Yeah. Is that a wrap?
That's gross.
That's a wrap.